when I was like 12, I was super inspired by Elon Musk, and I feel like I was inspired before it became cool to like Elon Musk.
Welcome to the podcast.
Good to be here.
You can introduce yourself right to this camera if you like, real quickly.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lilia Alexander. I'm 26, and at this point in time, I am a travel content creator.
Love it. So, as I just said off camera, how does a 17-year-old start a media company? What was life? How did you get to this point?
Yeah.
To that point, 17-year-old starting a media company.
Yes. Okay. So, growing up, I was always in the environment of business people because my dad was traveling the country. He'd often take me to his talks, and same with my mum, also speaking at conferences and things like that. So from a young age, I knew that like being.
What did they do?
My dad was chief economist of the BNZ.
Oh,
and
the same Alexander, Peter Alexander.
No, Tony.
Ted. No, what's his name?
Tony.
Tony Alexander. That's what I meant to say. Tony Alexander.
Yep.
Got it. Okay, that's your dad. Got it. So I get. Okay, that gives some context.
Yes.
No one watching this probably knows who he is.
Yeah, no.
But all of our clients know who he is.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Of course, we've got so many financial service clients.
So I've grown up.
Okay,
that,
cool.
Yeah.
So that gives context.
Yep.
Sorry, carry on.
That's cool. And then my mum does early childhood research, her own company to do with that.
Got it. So both are entrepreneurs.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yes, my dad like left the BNZ a couple of years ago. Now he does his own thing and he's killing it with that. But so growing up in that environment, I knew I wanted to be like a business person. I didn't know exactly how. When I was like 12, I was super inspired by Elon Musk, and I feel like I was inspired before it became cool to like Elon Musk. And then once he became too cool,
now he's just crazy man.
Yeah, it's crazy just what he's accomplished. So I was super inspired by that. At that age, like 12 or 13, I started seeing opportunities for business. So it was the rise of touchscreen phones, and nobody really had a touchscreen phone, but you could buy them online. And at that point, I saw the opportunity, but I was too scared because I thought, I don't know accounting. I don't want to go to jail. And like, I was just like, I was too scared. Yeah, but if I had taken that opportunity, like that's my biggest regret, is if I had taken that opportunity, things would be a whole lot different now. So that kind of like, I knew I was definitely keen to do business. And then further along, there's like year 10, like business week or something. And we sell products, and that did really well. Further along, so first off, I went to a private girls only school up until year 11. And then in year 12, I switched up and I went to a public co-ed school. So complete change of scenery, learned what the real world is like. And during that year, I was so motivated. I always wanted to be a step ahead of everyone else. And so I was doing level 3 in year 12 because I wanted to go to uni early and stay ahead of the game. And so in year 12, I was doing level 3 business studies. And during that, me and my team, we came up with a pineapple chunk gelato, and we collaborated with a local gelato maker, and then we sold that in a cart, got stocked in some New Worlds. We won the Wellington Regional Award for that. So that was a big taster of business. After that, I got into a program called Venture Up, which at the time was a 6-week business education accelerator program for people who had just done young enterprise. It's like 28 people from around the country, put it into Vic Uni over the holidays, free accommodation, it was great. Because at that time I was flatting, so that saved me some good money. And that was a great experience. Obviously business didn't continue because everyone then went off back to uni or back around the country. And then I had this break between that and university, and during that break so over the years, like in high school, like I would make meme pages for fun because it's like fun, and then nobody knows it's you, and you're like posting all these funny things about what's going on in school. And so I love making Facebook pages. And also from the age of 13 or whenever Instagram came out, I was just mucking around on Instagram. I know obviously like my posts were like pictures of shoes and you put the terrible filters on them, but there were no restrictions on Instagram at that point in time. And so every day after school, I could follow hundreds of people, and then a small percentage would follow me back, and then you unfollow them. And so like I gained like 13,000 followers at 13. And that meant nothing. The same thing. Yeah. It's like, I didn't know there was anything potential there. Like if I did, again, things would look a lot different.
You know what I was at the same time, sorry to cut you off. I was 36,000 followers in 2012
Oh,
from doing that.
Yeah.
For a clothing brand I had started in
yeah.
the UK,
Yep.
which had sold shitloads.
Yep.
And then I didn't realize what I was on at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that same time in 2012 was when Gymshark started doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
yeah.
Ben Francis is a knighted billionaire.
Damn.
I mean, I wasn't Ben Francis. He had a whole different strategy. But like, I didn't realize, and then I just closed the page down.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we didn't even know. And like I had friends as well that have like Tumblrs with loads of followers, and we just didn't see any value in it. We just thought, oh, these are just numbers. It's just a game.
Yeah.
I just want to get my numbers up because it's fun.
Yeah.
And so that kind of just like, that's the same account I have today, my personal. And I just like went back to being normal person. I wasn't really trying to grow it or anything for all of high school. But anyway, so I just finished this program called Venture Up.
Yep.
I was starting uni. I was going to start uni like midway through the year. And in that time, there was major flooding in Wellington.
Yep.
And I love making Facebook pages, so I made a Facebook page, Wellington Floods 2015 Live. Yep. And I collated all the information from council pages, the news websites. I was in all the different Facebook groups around the region, so I'd find out information like what roads are closed, what schools are closed, and I would bring that in one central place. And people flocked to it. And within like 24 hours, I had about 16,000 followers on that and reaching hundreds of thousands of people because it gave them the information that they needed straight away without having to click on, 5 different websites and having to see ads and like, it just, just exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
Thanks. And so that's how it started.
Cool.
But at that point in time, I never intended for it to be that. Like I was just kind of just making it for fun.
Yeah.
And it just, after the flooding ended, I was like, what am I going to do with this page about flooding? And so I changed the page name to Wellington Live, and I just keep posting things about Wellington. And it was definitely like a progress of learning what to post, what not to post, and just learning the ropes of what I was doing, and just keep growing it. And every natural disaster, my specialty, it would soar in followers. Around Kaikoura earthquakes, I grew by about 40,000 followers.
Yeah, crazy.
And plus just the steady daily growth as well of just posting content that people really cared about.
Yeah.
And nothing like that they didn't care about. And so it was just such a high quality page.
Yeah, I heard you had, so I've read a lot that you had some really strict rules around that.
Yeah.
What were those again?
Yeah, so, and these were just like rules that I just kind of came up with myself.
Yeah.
It was like, well, now I think actually it's been a couple of years now. Well, before I would post something, first question I would ask myself is, if I saw this in my newsfeed, would I care or would I keep scrolling? And if I would keep scrolling, then I'm not going to post that. So that's my number one thing. Because if your post doesn't get engagement, your next posts will get less reach and you're just going down a steady slope from there.
Exactly.
But other rules were like, I'm not going to like post photos of crashes or anything that could, maybe someone doesn't want to be in that post, like of a person.
Yep.
I wouldn't, I don't swear, so I wasn't swearing in my post.
Yep.
I kept it pretty PG. I just tried to keep it as just as like clean, and no negativity.
There's no baiting in it. It was just good quality, relevant content.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, because that's not news, but it was news content.
Yes.
So
and I think it's interesting now, like watching the downfall of News Hub and seeing how like they didn't adapt. And I feel like maybe I was ahead of the game of starting a media company where it wasn't the traditional, like you just have to get a ton of clicks on the website, make ad revenue. It was, I was building an audience and then I could make ad revenue from integrating ads within that, but like in a different way. I wasn't constantly like, here's the top 5 things you can eat today. Like those random things that people, it's the just clickbait. Model. Yeah. So I
doing
avoided
quality stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that was at the core of it was quality, and the core of it was also live. So I would post before any news agencies would post things, because the news would come straight to me because I had so many followers that everyone in Wellington, like if something happened, it would come straight to my inbox.
Got it.
So I never had to
Cool.
really hunt out news. It would
Yep.
just come straight to me and it was instant. So hence why it was like live. Like it'd
Love
be like
that.
an earthquake and I'm posting earthquake.
Yeah.
yeah. It was fun.
But that's perfect.
yeah.
That's the place you want to be, right?
Yeah. It was the
Owning
thrill
a
of it.
conversation.
Yeah.
That's a real
absolutely.
interesting thing about like taking that clean approach to it.
Yeah.
How like you were young.
Yes.
So how did you have that insight to do that? What was it about you and your upbringing or who you were that made you decide, I'm not going to chase this vanity, I'm going to chase quality? Because that's not normal.
True.
Like, it's quite a hard thing to, I mean, if it was normal,
Yeah.
maybe some of these big media companies would still be thriving, you know, like it's not normal.
Yeah, I think something that helped a lot was the fact that I was already slightly immersed in the startup ecosystem. So I was already having things set around me, you know, like validation, listen to your customers, like, so that would teach me as I was building the page is like, if someone doesn't like something, don't post it. If they do like it, post more of it. And if you give people what they want, then they'll keep coming back for more. So I think that was like a core of what helped me.
But you know what's interesting about that is that's like, you could have still done that with rage baiting.
With what, sorry?
With rage baiting. Like you could have done stuff to
true.
annoy people to still get the likes, right? But you decided, no, I'm going to take the moral high ground here and take quality over something.
Yes.
Why? Like, do you know why? Like, what is it about you that decided that? Because that's is a tough decision. I think it's I think for news it's the right one. My favorite news channel on YouTube is TLDR News because they're a little bit clickbaity, but like they do it for algorithm. But actually, the content's not.
Okay, cool.
The content's really unbiased.
Yeah.
And if they ever did say like, I mean, the election season in the US is about to roll out. They're British, but like, they will do a video purely about Biden and they'll do one on Trump. I guarantee it. Like that's how they tell both sides of the story the way they do.
Yeah.
So they don't they clickbait you into click the title, but then the content's really unbiased and not.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think it's the right way. They've grown exponentially.
Yep.
What made you do that?
I think at the core is that I guess I want to be a good person.
Yeah, okay.
And
I mean, that's a good reason.
I don't want to be. I wasn't in it for any vain purpose.
Cool.
It all unfolded just the way it unfolded, and I wasn't in it for money. Like I wasn't in it for the likes or anything like that. I just did it because I enjoyed bringing those updates to people and seeing the fact that they appreciated that. And I feel like if I were to have gone down the path of being more clickbaity, then that loses the essence of what it is. And then I would just be like any other website that's just trying to get clicks. And that would have actually negatively affected the engagement and then how people felt about the page. That would have affected then businesses wanting to advertise through the page. So that would have mucked up the whole model. So I think I had to just do it like a really pure model in order for that to actually work.
Cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it worked.
Yeah,
It
totally.
worked.
Yeah.
I mean, you built what? You're just shy of 300K or something when you sold it, right?
Just under that. So
So it worked.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of Kiwi pages can get that big, especially run by one person.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So it came across as though Wellington Live was like, I mean, a media company, right? Like people thought there was like a team behind it, all this stuff behind it. I'm like, no, it's literally just me on my phone, like at the beach or wherever. I'm posting like, hey, there's been a car crash. Hey, there's an earthquake. Like, and I kind of kept it that way because I didn't want it to be about me. Like otherwise I just focus on my own personal kind of page and maybe do posts like that. But like it was just about, keeping at the core of what it is and what the name is, Wellington Live. It's just live updates about Wellington. And I think staying true to that, it definitely, it worked out in the long run and people loved it and just keep growing. But
how many hours did you spend on it? Like, how was the work? It must have been shitloads.
Okay, initially more. So whenever there's a natural disaster, I'm just like flat. I'm just like on my laptop, like not eating, whatever. Outside of that though, when nothing much is happening, it was a bit interesting. And this is, something we could dive into is that I went straight from high school into this. I never had a proper job. And through this company, I got it to a point where I was making a living off maybe 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And so I had that whole 4-hour work week thing. But I got rid of it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to throw myself back into the world, and because I couldn't appreciate it, because that was all I'd ever known. Is doing my own thing and not having to work much. And like, even like a couple years in, so I actually I lived in Auckland for a year while I was running it in the early days, which was crazy because I was like, it's Wellington, but I was in Auckland, but everything's online, so it was fine. And then I moved back to Wellington because I was like, like I got to, get a bit more into this. Like I got to put more effort into it. And I wanted to put more time into it as well. And so I would find ways to put myself into like doing more to do with any advertisements. Like I'll be like, oh, hey, like I can come and take the photos. Like you don't need to provide them. I'll come and take them. I'll make a video or whatever. So I tried to, put more time into it simply because I wasn't putting much time into it. And I wanted to kind of change. I'm like, what am I doing with my life if I'm just going to beaches every day? Like it was weird. And so, and just slowly, I wanted to give that up. And like now I've been out of it for a while. Now I can appreciate that more. I'm like, it would be nice to have a 4-hour work week and be able to just travel and do whatever I want. Which I guess I'm still, I'm working on.
Doing it. Yeah,
it's still kind of working out.
Tell me, when you first started to monetize it. Tell me about that. How did you do that? Because you would have been, 19, something like that, 18?
Yeah, 18, 19, somewhere.
You were young.
Yeah.
Tell me that story of how the monetization thing happened. Yeah. And then, what did you learn in that initial period? Because surely you weren't just an expert at it first day. And if you were, screw you.
Yeah, I know. But no, definitely not.
No, I don't think you were. Everyone goes through a learning journey. Yeah. So, what are some of the things you, first of all, how did you do it? Yeah. Well, tell me the story. And then 2, what did you learn from it?
Yes. Okay. So I had this page, loads of followers, meet with people in the business world. They're like, whoa, you've got something here. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? How? How do I make money from it? And no one could really give me a clear answer on how to do it. So I had to figure it all out by myself. And this is back when the world of influencers was still taking off. A lot of businesses didn't know what the term influencer even meant. So it was so early days. And so it was quite hard to navigate. And I started off by one company sent me some coconut milk and I posted about that and they gave me $20 and
love it.
Yeah, I was like, cool. Yeah, I'll take it. But then from that I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is how I can do it. I post about businesses, but I also wanted to stay true to the page. Yeah. Not just sell out, Yeah. Because then again, engagement would drop, reach would drop, the whole thing would drop. Yeah. So I did it in a way where I would only advertise for places that are relevant to Wellington, first off, and also that I think would actually get good engagement in a post. And I would input my creative mind into how to make that post. If I wouldn't like it if someone would just send me an image and a caption and say post that, because a lot of the time those were terrible and they would not do well on social media. But figuring out the monetization side of it, it was definitely just confidence and building up. So I just slowly I go from $20 to $50 to $100 to $400 to more and packages. Yeah. And it just
Did they come to you or did you have to often? Yeah.
Yeah, about maybe half. I don't know exactly.
Yeah. But roughly 50-50.
Yeah, it was.
So you would directly reach out to people as well to ask them if they'd like to do something?
Yeah. Yep. LinkedIn was definitely a great help for that because you can just type in marketing manager of this company.
Music to my ears.
I was like,
I told you TikTok. LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn. Oh my God. And I say that to so many people, but they're like, nah, I don't want to be on. I'm like, you're missing out on so much.
So much money.
Exactly. It's crazy. But so LinkedIn was a big help for that. And then the others that were just they might message the page hey, can you post about our business? And I'm like, oh yeah, here, here's the rate card, and then it would just kind of go from there.
Tell me quickly, what was your approach on your direct approach on LinkedIn, or regardless, but let's use LinkedIn because that's easy. How did you do it? Give us a breakdown. What would you do? Let's pretend.
Okay. I mean, pretty straightforward. I would just I'd search them up, I'd find them, I'll send them a connection request.
Who are you searching up?
A marketing manager of gosh, I can't even think of what companies now.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a direct
maybe like
brand,
an
so
events company.
Yeah, cool.
Let's say events company, and I wait for them to accept the request because otherwise you've got to pay to message them.
Yep.
So they accept the request. Sometimes like I wouldn't message straight away because then that comes across as so like salesy. Like I only connected to get something out of them, which is it's true, but like you don't want to come across that way.
But yeah.
So. And then I would message them. I'd be like, "Hi, I'm Lilia. I run this Facebook page, Wellington Live. It's got this many followers. I think we'd get really good engagement.
Yeah.
Like, here are my rates, which I think are very reasonable. Would love to give a post a go if you're keen."
Yeah.
And then, I guess ideally they say yes.
Yeah. And what would happen if they? If they didn't say yes, what would happen?
I mean, I feel like I'd probably ask, is it too expensive?
Yeah.
And if so, maybe I'll bring it down.
Did you get a lot of no's or did you get a lot of nothings?
A few, yeah. I mean, I guess I tried to do it in a way where it's like I knew that they would be a good fit. Like,
yeah.
So it kind of just.
So you got a lot of yeses, and then if they didn't say yes, did they just not reply, or did you get a lot?
Probably a few of those as well. A few scenes.
Yeah, just scenes, right?
Which is fine.
Which I think's normal. And I guess the reason I bring that up is a lot of people get worried about like pissing people off or people getting angry at them, and it's like actually if they don't want to do it, they probably just ignore you. Yeah,
and you only get annoyed if someone would like message me over and over and over, and then I'm like, block, report as spam, get out of here.
Exactly.
But the first one, if it's genuine, I think there's also like a way to write it in a genuine, like it's not a copy paste message, it's an actual, a genuine message. So I think I did pretty well with LinkedIn reaching out to people. Otherwise, I could just message their Facebook page or their Instagram to get to the right person. And then then a flow of them coming to me as well, which was pretty good.
Yeah. And so what was like on average at that time? I mean, I haven't seen those old rate cards, but like what was like a typical post? Like 400, is that
probably
what you said?
400 for a Facebook post. That was my standard.
And how many of those would you aim to do? You don't have to say exactly because it would have changed all the time. But like in your mind, your model was to work to what level?
Yeah. It's tricky because going back to the core purpose, my goal was never the money. I was just trying to make enough to live off.
That's what I was kind of interested in.
Yeah. So I guess I just got it to a comfortable point where the flow was just, it's just right. Like, and maybe if I could see I didn't have any advertising posts comes up, then I'll reach out to more people. Yeah. But if it was sweet, then maybe I don't need to reach out to more people. Or I would start doing like, try to do the package kind of things. Like you get a Facebook post, an Instagram post. Maybe I come take some photos. Maybe we do a follow-up post, charge them more for a giveaway post because that gets better engagement. They might get hundreds or thousands of followers from that. So I kind of I just kept it at a rate that was steady for me, which I guess to live off, you don't need heaps. I don't know, maybe it was like somewhere with like 30 to 40 grand a year at that point.
You didn't need
like I didn't need heaps of
100 grand.
Yeah, and it was a 4-hour work week, right? So I didn't, and I wasn't going partying. I wasn't,
But it is interesting to know because like it's not that many. Was it 100 a year that you would need to make 40 grand?
Oh right, post.
You know what I mean? Like like 2 a week. Like it's like if you think about it from like activity that people have to do to make base living.
True.
It's not that much.
No,
really.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have to send 100 messages to get one or something, but who knows? But I guess like why I like to bring that up is like I talk to a lot of people. Yeah. Like you've done the thing that I always tell to people, which is the same way we started this business. Yeah. Like LinkedIn, same thing. But they're just not willing to do that little bit. And it's like, but there's so much revenue generation there that you can do. Yeah. And actually you only needed 100 Facebook posts to make 40 grand, which is not like fucking making heaps of money, but you were working 4 hours a week. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was great. I could have made a whole lot more if I put in a lot more. There was so much potential there. Yeah. But I was just never driven by it, and I never saw it as a business. And like my business, like I know long term, like going back, like I was always inspired that one day, like I want to have like $1 million, big business, $1 million big business. But I knew that wasn't it. Nah. And because of that, it ended up kind of just dragging out. And that's where I tried to sell it a couple of times and then eventually just got to like a breaking point where I was like, I need it gone. Like I need to move on with life. I need to do something different. I need to figure out what it is that I want to do because this all just unraveled without me intending for it to. So I guess that's probably, what led to
the sale of it.
How long ago was the sale now?
Just under 2 years ago.
Just under 2
or
years,
2 years maybe?
Yeah, I remember,
time goes
I
fast.
think it was when you first sold it.
Yeah.
Is when I first heard of you because I think you did.
I did probably did a LinkedIn post.
You did a really good LinkedIn post that went bananas on LinkedIn because you were, a 20-something-year-old female who exited a media company, which who the fuck is this woman? This is amazing. Which is cool.
Yeah.
And obviously, as we were saying before, like it was quite, it's been publicized, like what that transaction looks like, which is really not normal. Why did that number get out?
Yeah, totally. I mean, okay, so the sale process was quite interesting. And this is something, again, like I would ask people, how do I do it? But like no one could give me a clear answer. And I didn't really want to bring someone on board that was going to take a giant cut of it. And I just wanted it gone, really. And so I went through this weird, disheartening process where like I knew like I really wanted to sell it to like Wellington City Council or the Wellington NZ Tourism Arm back then called Reader, because I wanted the page to just keep being about good stuff for Wellington, because that was the core. It was like being positive about Wellington, and my engagement was so high, like it was doing so well, but for whatever reason they all said no. And I mean, I think that's a bit of I mean, there's many reasons why this, you see a young person doing better than you, you don't want to give them the satisfaction of them having achieved something. It's another tough part with what I did is that I would never get reported on by any other media companies because I was a media company. So there's like barely anything out there about me because I was a competitor, which kind of sucks because like...
But it's the dumbest thing. Every PR company we've ever talked to as a company have told us point blank, the news will never cover you.
Yeah.
You're their competition.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm like, oh.
And we aren't really a media... Wait, we are a media company because of what we do, but not in the sense you are.
Yeah.
You're stealing advertising revenue.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're people's social media advertising. We're the advertising agency. Yeah. In fact, if the news outlets and stuff were smarter, we potentially... there's probably very few of our clients, but like some of our clients would use their media.
Yeah.
So like build a relationship with it.
Yeah, relationship should be a relationship.
It's so New Zealand.
Exactly. It could have boosted them up. Like
New Zealand.
But people just, and I guess, also just being a young person, because everyone around me is older, and old people get jealous of young people that are doing, like, I didn't have to go to uni. I didn't have to work 9 to 5 for this many number of years to do well. So there's just a lot of, I guess, judgment in that sense. And I guess the New Zealand tall poppy syndrome is like, if someone's doing well, you kind of want to bring them down. And so like I would be scared to even post about what I was doing, and the fact that I was reaching hundreds of thousands of people every week, like that LinkedIn post of selling it, like that was a big thing. And I knew I wanted to do that post because that like kind of I was trying to like mark the end of it, but like I could have posted a whole lot more just whilst I was running it. I could have made a lot more noise, but I felt guilty because then like I had this situation, one time I was telling someone about what I was doing, and he was like, oh wow, look at you doing that, and look at me, like I'm just doing nothing. And I felt so bad for being successful because they weren't, and then they felt bad. And so I feel bad, like feeling like I'm bragging about what I do.
Yeah. And
so that means it doesn't get out there, and then people don't really know what I'm up to. And even today I'm still nervous. I mean, I try, like I think I did a LinkedIn post today trying to like brag about some numbers that I did, but it's like it's tough. Like I nearly, like so many times I just nearly don't post something because like I just feel bad. So it's I don't know if that's just because it's New Zealand and overseas it's different. Like
even overseas it doesn't matter. Like a lot of people will talk. The thing that a lot of Kiwis do is they'll blame this tall poppy thing. Yeah, that tall poppy thing is present everywhere in the world. We just have a name for it here. Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, like people are like, oh, because we're opening up in New York and all this sort of stuff, and people are like, oh, it's so much better there, right? Like the Americans, they're all like this, and I'm like, the Americans are just like there's just as many people self-conscious about themselves in America as there is here. Yeah, it's just that we have a term for it. We call it tall poppy, and so it gives people an excuse. True, it gives them an excuse to be scared. No, you're just scared. Yeah. And you were just a young person who started this media company. Yeah. And then like you weren't sure on how to navigate it. Yeah. That's all.
I never had like a mentor or anything like that because I don't know, there was never the right person for that. So
and there isn't. We don't have in New Zealand very good ecosystems to support young people in that space.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We try to. There's lots of people out there trying to do good things with young people. It's just real hard for young people to find it. Like the Young Enterprise Scheme is one of those places where it's trying to do it right, and they're good people who run it.
Yeah.
But like we don't have enough of it.
Yeah.
And then we enable our young people with terms like tall poppy to use that as a defense for themselves.
Sure.
And like I just don't buy it.
Okay.
I don't blame you for using it.
Yeah.
I blame the society for like forcing this on people.
Yeah.
That here's a term you can use to hide behind. Yeah. And then you go and use it and it's like, that's not true. You don't have tall poppy bring you down. You fucking sold a media company at 19 or whatever, 23 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have any tall poppy. I think we're from the outside looking in at your brand.
Yeah.
I think that where you will, because you're still so young, you still have so much. You still have another 7 to 10 careers.
Yeah.
Right? You still got maybe more.
Yeah.
You still got heaps.
Yep.
So you have this opportunity. You're in an opportunity piece at the moment where you're like, I'm quite comfortable, which we'll get into this bit soon, but like you have the opportunity to have that whole Wellington live piece, which is still very fresh.
Yeah.
Most people don't get to leave the company that they sell for 2 years, and you got out after 6 months or something.
Oh.
How long were you still involved with it after you fully sold?
Right, yeah. So like I sold it and then I was on a contract to keep running it for 6 months, which is when they were meant to find someone to come in.
That's usually 2 years.
Oh, okay.
That's so actually, you're kind of only at the point now where most founders would have been fully separated from their exit. So it kind
of feels that way because of all the drama.
Exactly.
God.
So your second career is only, your next career, I should say, is only just started.
Yeah, I kind of feel that now. Yeah, I do.
Which is normal timelines.
Yeah, okay.
So actually, you've got like this real good opportunity now, which I think you're on the precipice of anyway, because you can kind of see it from the outside.
Yeah.
That like you're about to do something next.
Yeah.
And which then leads me quite nicely onto so tell me about this next thing. So you've been doing this travel vlogging stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so
Is that the next still?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one. Like it's so like after I sold the company, I then I was like, okay, I want to just get like a job, and I posted on LinkedIn. I was like, hey, I'm looking for something new to do. And then
at the time I was like, man, I wish I had some money. I was like, go hire this girl. At the time you posted, our company was not at all in a good position. Not that saying that you would have come work for us, but I was like, man, how do we like go talk to this woman? Anyway, carry on. I remember the post.
Okay. And anyway, so like I got a message from someone called John Holt, and he ran something called the Kiwi Landing Pad that helps support New Zealand startup founders expand overseas, mainly to the States. And so he was looking for someone to come on board to replace Casey, who was in there doing community management. So kind of just I started part-time, just helping like set up events, help connect founders to each other, just general stuff like that. And then I got a bit more heavily involved, and I did a couple trips to the States. That was great. And just got to really immerse myself in that ecosystem and be surrounded by some incredible people doing incredible things. So that was really awesome. And through like that kind of will help me in the long run in terms of having met all these people, getting to learn how their minds work, and what, life really is like.
Sorry to cut you off. I keep doing it to you.
Yeah.
But does that not tell you that tall poppy's full of crap? All those people you met? You know what I mean? Like they're still doing it.
Yeah, true. Well, the funny thing is like a lot of people that do really well that they have quite interesting minds. Then they don't think like normal people. And
what's different about it?
They're full on. Like you put
they don't give a fuck.
They put everything else to the side and they just go for it. And like they will work all day every day. Like it's just full on like hustle.
As a percentage of Kiwis who do that, it's the same as the population of the world. And this is the thing I find that's real interesting. Like Kiwis have this tall poppy thing, which is a real good conversation because like a lot of people, like as I said, use it as this armor. But you've met all these Kiwis who are like, fuck off with your tall poppy bullshit. Like, I'm the fucking man. I'm going to go crush the world.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is cool.
We need more influence of that within like schools and like...
Yeah, we do. We do,
And
but I think the guys who know it,
yeah,
they don't need it.
true.
You know what I mean? I think the people that we're touching is the people like to spread this noise is the people like you who could be the right people, but they get so much pressure from everyone around them to be influenced by this tool probably. So there is a big portion of people that you could help.
I should say another part of that is like I learned as a teenager, like when I first started the page, I was 17. I don't handle hate. So I built everything that I have in a way where I don't get any hate because I can't handle it. And so I was just, it's, you know, the more you put yourself out there, the more you open yourself up to hate.
Yeah.
And you see things in the ecosystem where especially big media will bully and push people off the edge. And that keeps happening. And I didn't want that to be me. And so that's also why I kind of would stay under the radar is I don't want these adults like having a go at me, insulting me, bringing me down when it's like I'm just trying to do something but they just like to say mean things. So I think that's probably a big part of why I stayed
I was
Zelo.
wondering if that's why I was pressing on it earlier.
Yeah.
Why you did the good approach of
Yeah.
being a good person.
Yeah.
Being a good person, I actually think is quite human.
Yeah.
I think most people don't want to be evil
Yeah.
or don't want to be bad. Some people have their own interpretation of good is, which is different to the majority of us.
Yeah.
But so you telling me I just want to be a good person, I wasn't really okay with your answer.
Okay.
And I knew there must,
Yeah, that's
I
right,
don't
there's
want to
more
press
to
you.
it.
I've
Yeah.
just met you. I mean, been following you for ages, literally a couple of years now, but I wasn't just going to be an asshole. Just like pressing you, like, tell me what it is.
Yeah.
But I think it is that. Like, it's a normal thing we get in this office of people, like both our staff, but more often our clients who don't want to deal with the hate.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, I want zero hate.
Yeah.
And if you watch any of mine and Joni, it's like, I need at least 40% hate.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if it's not 40% hate, we haven't done our job right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that we're right, but
it helps engagement. So,
it helps engagement. And look, we, as I've said many times, like, especially our Attention Seeker channel, it's like it's a TV show. Like we think of it internally as a TV show.
Yeah.
We have script writing sessions. Like it's a full scripted. I wouldn't say it's scripted in the sense that we have a dialogue that we say, but we have beats to the video that we work towards, and it's then done. So anyway, my point is, that's a really good point. That's the people who are like you, who are super creative, super good at what they do, but are worried about other people being hateful. That there is the piece we've got to help.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
There's so many of you who aren't good because they haven't been able to because they were too scared to do it. At least you had a way to hide.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's the thing that's a shame.
True. Yeah, I mean, I find it so much easier to do well in like social media and whatever for like another brand, like a thing that isn't me. And like, I mean, I put enough effort into mine that it's just enough. I can still do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But like, I could be doing so much more on my personal. It's scary. Yeah. It's like, it's tough. Gosh. Yeah.
Because that was one of my questions for you is like, you obviously have track records of building big communities.
Yeah.
Your personal stuff is not the same level as that.
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily matters, and you obviously understand that as well. But a lot of people from the outside will be like, how? How are you at this size making enough to, one, travel everywhere, live this lifestyle that looks glamorous?
Yeah.
So a couple of things.
Yeah.
I think you've answered already that one of the things that you've probably struggled with to grow your own is because you're at the moment unwilling to deal with the hate of it, so you keep everything. You know, your travel vlogs are like beautiful, pretty travel vlogs, very
it's all positive.
Like it's all positive, it's all great. If you get hate on those,
that'd be weird.
That'd be weird. It'd be just silly. So that's one thing. So that answered my question. Actually, I was going to ask you is like, why haven't you done this to be bigger yet?
Yeah.
And I can kind of get it. So I don't need to press into that because I kind of get it. But tell me, how do you make a living?
Yeah. True.
I've seen your rate card.
That's a question. Yeah, okay.
I've seen your rate card. It's not crazy.
No, it's not.
It's very affordable.
Yeah, and like I know my rate should be higher.
It's not low.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. It's not low. It's damn well better than some of the other people I've had on this podcast that I've told off.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, but it's not like you would have to be making. Tell me, I don't get it. Tell me the math.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so because like I also do a bit of other stuff as well.
Yeah, see, tell me more.
Yeah. So I'm probably not making like a full-time income off just the travel stuff right now, but it's because I've got other stuff that comes up. Like even like the other weekend, there was a post on Facebook like, hey, we're looking for a videographer for this event. I was like, yeah, I could do that. I'm free. I'll do it. And that pays $800 for the day. I'm like, heck yes, like I'll do that. Like, and then another event the weekend before that, and so it's kind of like a creative way, you know, to make money off the creative stuff. And then also like sometimes helping companies. Like there's this female-led startup called Eat Kinder, which is cauliflower ice cream. And I've been helping them out with their TikTok since late last year, just like part-time, not even part-time, but just as I can. Like I just help out film videos, edit the videos, post them, and goal is just going viral. And it's worked out pretty well. But so like stuff like that, like I can make a little bit of money off that. So I kind of get bits of money from all over the place. I mean, ideal world is like when I left that full-time job I was in with the Kiwi Landing Pad, my goal was like, yeah, like I want to focus on creating the life that I want to live. I want to do just travel content creation. But I guess I am finding now, like I'm happy to shoot an event for $800. Like that's sweet. I'll do that. But in terms of the more like influencer type stuff, I'm starting to get like a higher flow of that, and I think that's part of why I wanted to move to Auckland, is that everything happens up here. Nothing happens in Wellington. Like it's nothing happens.
You know what's so funny about that statement? Every Auckland influencer is like, nothing happens in New Zealand. Everything happens in Australia. Everything happens in the US.
Yeah, even better over there.
You know what I mean? Like it's such a relative conversation. But anyway, it's all right. I don't want to derail. You are right. Yeah. Auckland gets more than Wellington. 100%. I'm
always seeing all the like creative people I know, they're always at another event, another brand launch, another PR package and stuff like that. And like,
let's be honest, it's the only, like, no offense to Wellington, but it's the only real city in the country and global brands who have the budgets to do this. They only come here.
Yeah, no one picks Wellington first.
No, of course. I mean, it's just the economics don't play out.
Yeah. So that was a big part of me moving to Auckland. So I've only been here for like a week and a half now, and cool. I'm only like just starting. Like I was just sorting myself out in the flat and everything. I'm hoping to try to level up a little bit.
Cool.
In that sense of things, and just hustling in terms of the content creation. So like I reach out to heaps of B&Bs around the country, and like I try to sell them my package where I'm doing photo, video, and posting and providing them all the content. Starting to dive into the whole UGC world as well at the moment, which is interesting. Definitely potential there. I mean, that only popped up not long ago, and people in Australia were crazy over it, and then New Zealand was a slow behind, but starting to pick up now. But it's more about the companies in New Zealand starting to know like what is UGC and realize that they need it. Kind of like back when the whole influencer marketing thing came into play, when companies didn't really know about it, but then they slowly got into it, and then now they all are usually willing to do influence marketing. So now UGC is one of those things where it's only just starting to rise right now. And potentially there's a lot of potential there. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of taking it as it comes.
What I really like about that journey story you've had with your monetization is like it's really advanced thinking for young creators, which you're obviously a little bit different in the fact that you had a media company first and whatever. But that doesn't matter. You're still a content creator at the end of the day. There's like a few stages of like monetization that I'll sometimes talk about, whereas like one's like, which doesn't happen a lot in New Zealand, but it's getting revenue from the content itself, like AdSense or whatever, which very few people do. Then there's sometimes like brand sponsorships, and then that sort of levels up into brand campaigns for people like Wiz is the kind of influencer or somewhat UGC stuff. But then the two higher tiers of making money is service and product. And usually product is the higher one, only because of its scalability.
Yeah, exactly. I'm yet to get into selling a course or any. You know, I kind of wanted to stay away from that for ages.
Oh, don't sell a course.
Gosh, I'm like,
don't sell a course.
But then I see people do it, I'm like, I don't know.
We get asked a lot about, I put a video yesterday about it. We get asked all the time about a course, and I don't want to do a course, but I have thought about doing like a small intimate cohort where I can make a lot of content out of it, but then I can help people actually do stuff, and it's just, it still costs a shitload. Like I might still charge people $4 or $5 grand, But that's a fraction of what we charge brands to do what we do over 12 weeks.
Good point.
Like, it wouldn't be in person because like our audience is so big. The courses are so scummy.
Yeah, that's the thing. But the thing is, you see people do it and they can do really well.
The amount of like courses that you get on like Instagram of people promoting their stuff. Don't buy them because they're telling you that they've made so much money doing something.
Often they're lying.
The thing they're making so much money off
is the course.
You buying their course.
I mean, oh my God, the pyramid schemes, MLMs and stuff. Oh my God.
No, you've done the right thing. Like your brand is part of the reason why you'll be successful getting the day gigs videoing for an event. Because
totally.
I know you, of course. Yep. So your brand, you doing the brand has meant you've got an $800 a day gig, right? Yep. So that is so much better. I mean, and look, $800 a day at the moment, but that can turn into $3,000 a day.
It could.
When you get a bigger gig or more than that, right? Because some like... once you have a real name for yourself for doing it and people know the content that you make hits every time, you charge more and more because now there's a value proposition to the stuff rather than just a time and attendance thing.
Yeah, totally.
And then the product thing is like digital products are one thing, but digital products are somewhat, like so many people have scammy ones. But like it's like influencers who bring out good products because there's influencers who bring out terrible products who just like, I'm going to pair with a coffee company and here's some beans. But then there are people who actually try to do good products. And like Linus Tech Tips is one I follow a lot. They're a YouTuber.
Okay,
and they do tech stuff. And like I bought a bag and a screwdriver from him. I don't know why. But I watch his content all the time. So for me, it was like a way of supporting the channel.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I get endless hours of entertainment from him. So when he brings out these products, but he'd spent 3 years developing them. Right. And through iteration, and he showed the journey, and they are actually everything he said they're going to be. He sold of the bag. He sold something like 75,000 of them, and they were $400.
Wow.
Oh no, $250, 400 New Zealanders.
Yeah.
So you can do the math of how much money he made on that thing.
Yeah. Didn't you say you did something with t-shirts once?
Oh, we did it as a piss take. Yeah. We sold questions t-shirts. $89 each. We sold 55 of them. That was so dumb. I mean, we did it as a joke. And people did it. I actually took it down because people kept buying them. And I was like, stop buying these t-shirts, they're so bad. But what I was trying to get to in that conversation is for a lot of people listening and a lot of the creators I've interviewed on this podcast have gone, oh yeah, these brand deals are not very good. I don't get much out of them. I should be asking for more or whatever. Because like, you know, say you're getting $400 for a post or you're even getting $1,500, it's not really reflective of the value you're giving the brand. The brands screw people down on that. The actual value of what you're giving them is a lot more. And you can see it because you go to the US. And like when we're in the US, we saw people similar size like as size following as our brand, so like 500 to 800K. And they would be getting $10,000 a post.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Because the Americans understood. They understood the value of the price of the brand of what you're getting out of it. Whereas like in New Zealand,
it's behind.
Well, it's not that we don't understand the value; it's that the value isn't the same because a post here can only do so well. You know what I mean? There's a ceiling.
And I think maybe even a part of people being scared to ask for more or scared to ask at all. Like, I mean, I come across often creators where they have a big following and they want to monetize it, but they don't know how.
And they get into the brand deal thing or they try and they're not enough and then they don't know what else to do. And it's this service thing that you've done, which is the reason you can do what you want to do.
True.
And I think that should be highlighted better as a way. That's what we do, right? We've got 27 full-time staff. All come from the selling of a service through socials.
True.
Right? So all of it comes from LinkedIn and TikTok. And majority of it LinkedIn, you know? And so they, like all I've done is been able to scale it because of like the type of service I offer and, you know, I can sell really well, which is why we got to where we are. But you don't, and also some people don't want to run a big business like me. You know, so that's fine. But you've proven that, I could earn $800 a day. How many people earn $800 a day?
Well, in the creative industry, sometimes, but generally, no. Yeah, generally, no.
Even in the creative industry, like, it's not normal. I know heaps of... Okay.
I think I'm friends with a lot of like photographer, videographers. So
yeah, that's different.
I see it different.
Because they are... When you're a photographer by trade and that's your thing and that's all you do, fine.
Yeah, they get like $4,000 for a wedding.
Content creator,
yeah.
Because you started off as a content creator.
Yes.
Who's now a creative.
Yes.
Because you were 17 when you started your content creation journey, even though you did it through Wellington Live. Or even earlier, right? Because you did meme pages and stuff.
Actually, maybe I should talk on that. Like it was so I've always I had a camera since I was younger, so I've always had that creative eye, and that's what helps me curate the page into a page that people wanted to engage with more. Like I'd only post the best photos because I know what looks good. I ended up starting to take photos myself and post those photos, and like even some of my photos went viral, which was super cool because then like I had this one year where I was a landscape photographer and like I sold calendars and I sold prints and I made like 10 grand off that. That was cool. But it was through the company where I started to dive into the travel industry and like in terms of the importance of timing and persistence, like it took me 3 years to get a deal with Singapore Airlines, and it was only because I kept at it. When the time came, they were like, "Yep, we're having you."
Yep.
And that was great. But then COVID happened and then we never even got to post the videos. That sucked. But I got to fly business class and paid to, fly business class. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And that put me in that travel industry and COVID happened. And so I couldn't advertise for events or many businesses because people couldn't leave their house and like everyone was events couldn't happen because too many people in one space. And so I pivoted and I was like, okay, I should do more of the travel stuff. And there's an opportunity right now because we don't have international tourists that we can promote domestic tourism. And so I changed what I was doing and I focused on domestic tourism. And I think a lot of businesses throughout that time, they were like, like this, like it sucks and we can't do our business anymore. But they didn't even try to pivot. They didn't look at the market and see where's the opportunity. So that's kind of like it's on them if that's business. And so pivoting into the travel industry, that built up some connections. And so, like I've done work with lots of different hotels, Airbnbs, airlines. And by doing that through Wellington Live, I was then able to use that as I started building up my personal pages a bit more. I was like, I could do this on my own. And that helped the transition to being myself, my own brand, easier because I had that experience and connections built up through Wellington Live, and I kind of knew how it all works by that point. And now, I'd love to do more overseas paid stuff. So maybe I'm gonna try to put some more effort into that. I also I got picked up by Jetstar when they started their TikTok. So, and people always ask me, they're like, whoa, how did you get that role? How do you get into doing this stuff? And I'm like, just do it. Like, you have to do what you want to be doing. I was already posting the travel content that they would want on their TikTok. So they see straight away, wow, we want her content, we'll hire her. But there's people out there, they post nothing. And they're like, how do I become a travel content creator? I'm like, you got to at least start posting. How are they going to know you're good at this if you're not doing it already? So that was how I got that. And that was cool because then I was traveling around with Jetstar and there was 6 months worth. And it kind of sucked because at the end of that 6 months, they went with their agency that's in Australia because they wanted to make it all align. But that was when you didn't have to wear masks in the plane anymore. And there's so much more opportunity for TikToks when you don't have to wear masks. So it was bad timing for me because I could have done so much more with that. But oh well, it was still a great opportunity.
It was always going to be hard for you with the Jetstar one because of the fact that at that time, TikTok, people started to take it seriously. And so agencies realized there was too much money on the table. And so they started to really push.
I think they pushed.
We're doing fine, but a year ago, we would never had to battle with agencies. And now agencies are trying to steal back business from us. They're very unsuccessful. We've not had any problems fighting them. In fact, we're still stealing business from them.
Cool.
But the thing is that that was always going to be hard for you. As a one-man band.
Totally.
Taking an agency. It's different for us because we are an agency too. We're just a much, much smaller one than the big guys.
Totally.
But I did see that originally and it was always going to be hard for you to hold on to that. because a brand as big as Jetstar, the big agency guys are always going to come after them.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're always going to come after them.
And I'm the one person just traveling around doing my own thing. But I mean, like I think I had a good eye for the content and everything. And it did well and everything. But I guess they just wanted to align and do more comedy and like
portfolio.
Yeah,
it's a great thing for your portfolio. It shows that so much like breadth in what you've been able to do.
Yeah.
So like, you know, we're probably coming up to about an hour now. We're over an hour.
Oh, sure.
So
we had the 10 minutes.
Yeah, we had the 10 minutes at the beginning, so it's okay. I mean, look, it doesn't matter. It can go as long as it needs to be. But these guys probably want to go home. But what I wanted to finish on is we've gone to so many tangents on this thing, but all kind of along the same lines of some work ethics I think you have, which I really like because it's really like a lot of what I tell the guys, which is just do shit.
Yeah.
And also that this persistence piece.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. And you've explained that a lot, that you got to do stuff and you got to do it for a long enough time.
Yeah.
And you got to keep going.
Yeah.
And don't just rest on your laurels, right? Just keep pushing and you'll eventually get it. Singapore 3 years later.
Yeah. And also like being willing to adapt, like people that won't adapt to how to make a TikTok. It's like a whole new language and they will post the same stuff in businesses and they just don't get it. Like I think that's a key thing is being willing to adapt.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially in these platforms.
Yeah.
Because they change every day. I mean, at the moment we're like having a meltdown on LinkedIn trying to figure out what's happened on this platform because everything we used to do doesn't work. So anyway, we just got to adapt.
Yep.
Tell me what's next.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like this isn't it all.
I'm kind of, I think that's what I'm going to figure out in the next month or so.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of, in terms of high growth, probably looking at some sort of online business because that's where you get the scalability. And like the travel stuff, it's great, but that's not too scalable. And so many more people are doing it now. And it's like, if there's like so many more people messaging these Airbnbs that I'm messaging and they will do it for free, like they're going to pick the people that will do it for free. Yeah. So it can get harder the more saturated the industry gets, and also New Zealand's very small. Like we don't have too many, so it's like in terms of if I go down the route of wanting to do big business, I think I might start playing around with online stores. I did kind of play around with them over the years. Yeah. Just like products that I would buy. I'm not the biggest fan of like drop shipping. I prefer to have the products physically with me. Yep. Creates more trust and like I know it's legit. Like,
but so there's difference to like drop shipping products that are the things that you've got from a logistics standpoint. Yeah. And drop shipping stuff where you've just remote brought from Amazon 40,000 pallets from AliExpress and put it into Amazon. That's a different thing. Yeah. Yeah. But don't let your brain get away from drop shipping as a logistical way of doing something.
I think there's potential there right now.
Yeah. Because scalability, you can't do it yourself.
Yeah.
Drop shipping 3PLs.
Yeah. And there's just so much potential there. Like again, like when I played around with some online stores previous years, like there was a lot of potential there. I mean, I just did it for fun. I just wanted to like test myself. Like, can I do this? And that's what I would do with making Facebook page. I'd like make a page, make it go viral as just like to validate myself. I'm not a one hit wonder. Yeah. Like I actually know what I'm doing. And so I think that might be the next route. I mean, who knows? I'm often thinking I just want to go live on a remote island, like just gaff it. Just
why don't you think about different services? Because you've got like even just listening to you talk and seeing what you've done, because I've obviously followed your journey for a while now. Yeah. You have this like knack for positioning. Like why not? Because that's a really high, like we sell positioning for a stupid amount of money. Yeah. Like ungodly amount of money because it is the most valuable thing we do. Yeah. Positioning them the right way on the page so that then any content that's created afterwards, it'll always hit because it's driving back to the same thing, which is exactly what you did if you talk about Wellington Live. Yeah. Your positioning was to make good, honest content that was trustworthy and reliable. Yes. Your Instagram and TikTok about travel content has a very good positioning. Yeah. You understand what it's meant to be. It's very positive travel content. Yeah. Okay. That skill is more valuable than any content creation you do. It is the most valuable thing we do for businesses. Right. As we've grown as a business, it is the thing we charge the most for. It has a lot of effort go into it, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Especially at the level we play at. Yeah, much higher. Because, we're doing stuff for like telcos. Yeah. But if you were like we have smaller FMCG brands who will pay us 20 grand for that. Damn. It's definitely worth it. There's a lot of money, there's a lot of time and effort goes into it. Yep. Yeah. But like if you're working with if you took as a one-man band, you might need to work with a slightly smaller brand.
Yeah, totally.
Just because of the workload. Yeah. but you could probably still charge like $5,000 for that, and you could probably do it in a week.
Decent. Yeah, I mean, I've never really thought about that.
Yeah.
So that's new to me. Yeah.
But you know what? It's an extension of you doing a day shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like the next level of that.
Yeah.
So who told the person that told you to do the day shoot why they needed the day shoot?
Wait, no, you're confusing me now.
So you got hired to do a day shoot.
The event one?
Yeah.
I
don't know. Who cares? Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You got hired in to do a day shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. Who was the person who decided they needed the shoot? That person got paid more than you.
Yeah. True. Well, it was like co-owners of the business.
Yeah. So they're co-owners. What I mean,
but they
is
knew
like
they needed that content.
What I mean in principle of like hierarchy of thought.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like there's a real old thing that Shaquille O'Neal uses. He made a joke about how the day he got given this $1 million check. Yeah. And he was like, man, I'm like super rich and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then he had this realization that shit, that guy wrote the check. Like, how do I write checks?
Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah.
You know, so there's always another person above the person.
Yes.
So if you're making good money doing videography, but actually you have a skill set on strategic positioning, someone had to do the strategic positioning to hire the person to do the videography.
Yeah, I see.
So as the level goes up, the pay gets higher. It's why executive creative directors get paid more than the videographers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're the guys who make the decision on the strategy because everything falls to that. That is just you
I
doing
need to consider that then.
Yeah. I don't think you realize that actually that skill is so valuable.
Yeah, I just never come across.
Because you're just good at it.
Yeah, maybe it's just it's like with the social media, it's just natural to me. Yeah. Like it's just people think it's going to take me like all day to craft a post. Where I'm like, no, you just literally just type it out and post it. Like I don't plan anything. I hate planning.
No, because you don't need to plan because you have the positioning in your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a strategy that it ladders back up to. It's a thing that we're teaching these guys a lot, especially as a creative team. They really have to understand the strategy. Yeah. Because if they really understand that, the content creation's easy.
Yeah, true.
Because it's like, you can't do that. It's not part of this positioning. Or like it's really easy for them to go and create stuff or make a skit or, you know, these guys are writing scripts for a brand at the moment. Yeah. And it's way easier to write that when they understand what the strategy is behind it. Yeah. If they don't understand that, then they just write funny scripts.
Random stuff. True. Yeah, no, I mean, you guys are obviously doing really well with the TikToks. Obviously, something's going right. It's good. It's entertaining.
Yeah. And look, it's a thing that the same thing we do for us, we do for all the clients. That's all we do. So we don't really often talk about our clients publicly just because their content's their content. They pay us for it. Yep. But it would be an interesting thing for you to consider. You're probably really good at it because you already have done it and proven that you can do it. And you've done it for multiple brands. Yeah. Which is the skill because a lot of people we meet, content creators, can only do it for their brand. Yeah,
that's
when we first hired Joni, she had no clue how to do it for multiple brands. It's taken ages. Right. She does now. She's really fucking good at it now. She's probably one of the best in the planet now because of how much we've pushed her. Yeah. She's also stupidly smart. Yeah. But just don't let her see this, that I said that. And
oh, sure.
But like that ability to figure out positioning for other brands is really valuable, and you've already proven to do it multiple times. I think you just have to, like, if there's anything you take away from today's conversation is realize how valuable that skill set is.
Yeah, okay, I will do. Like I need to look into that.
It's the main thing we sell.
Damn.
The actual execution.
Still all your business. Nah.
You know what? There's so much of it out there. Like I never think of people stealing our business. Yeah. I seriously don't think of anyone as competition. Like they can't compete because they're not us. True. They can do it, the same thing. Yeah. And they'll get clients who you've seen my TikToks. Yeah. There are going to be 90% of brands will never work with us. Are you seeing the shit we post?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I swear like a chimney on everything.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't swear.
Which is like a thing that will tell a lot of brands never to work with us. Okay?
Good point.
But what I want is the 10% who will. Yeah. All of them will. Yeah. And how many businesses are in the world? Millions. Yeah. So it's fine. So what I'm saying is you can't ever compete with us. Yeah. Because there is too much out there. And you're just not me. The brands who will work with us are not the brands who will work with you. Yeah, true. I'd probably target different ones anyway. Like I was thinking, you're saying you just moved up here. Like I'm so confident in that. This isn't competition. Yeah. That if you ever want somewhere to come and work at it, like come in. I mean, it's always a fucking crazy shit fight out there, but like we have clients who come out and spend the day out of here and all sorts. We built the front of this studio for that reason.
Okay.
For people to use it as a space. Drop in. Like the Wi-Fi is as fast as it can possibly get in this country.
I love the fast Wi-Fi up here.
It's 1 gigabit.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so it's 1,000 megabits per second. Because I fucking hate waiting for anything.
Yeah.
But like, you know, so like feel free
cool.
to come in. I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah, true. I think we've gone over time.
Yeah, we're going to go on well over time. But it's fine. That was real interesting.
Yeah, no.
This is the first person, you're the first person we've had on this podcast who is a content creator.
Yeah.
But has monetized your content the same way we have, which is getting into service.
Mm-hmm.
And you're obviously thinking about product. We've thought about product. We're not ready to do product yet.
Yeah.
We've dabbled and played around, but not as a business model. A lot of content creators I know are still stuck at the brand sponsorship place.
Yeah.
And it's a real hard place to make money. It's why Journey still works for me, right? Because it's so hard to do.
Yeah.
And it's probably one reason why she wants me to fund her to go back to New York, because there's bigger brand opportunities.
True.
But
so expensive there though.
But so there is that, and you're the only one who hasn't. And then the other people we've had on here are business owners who are business owners first, and then use social really well to grow their business. So you're like,
I'm like a mix.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like
a mix. It's just cool, which is what we are.
Yeah.
Like we built social following. I did mine on LinkedIn first.
Yep.
And then I used that to sell a service.
Yeah.
And I think it's the fastest. Like people talk about how fast can you monetize stuff to a sustainable living standard, and in New Zealand, it's this by far. You couldn't have just survived on. I knew you couldn't survive just on your travel content.
I could. I mean, if I
you
hustled
could
harder,
if you wanted
I could.
to, but it's
not.
just
like other stuff comes up, and I'm like, okay, I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you could because you know how to use your money wisely. And you're young, but not because it's like.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole. I would love to. I'm seeing so many people that are so bad with money, and it's crazy just watching how so many people are bad. And I'm like, why? Like,
yeah, your dad is chief economist. Like you know, you've got a few things.
I know how to do money.
Yeah, you got different sort of privileges that come out of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, very privileged.
Yeah,
privileged.
But in terms of the knowledge that you gained, you know. So there are some stuff there that people know and people don't. I think there's still so much more to learn, but there's also so many good people solving that problem.
Yeah.
That are your age.
True.
And so what could be quite interesting is how do you do stuff with them? Do you know that like these people who and these like do you know like the likes of like Simran?
Yes.
Kerr,
I never met her, but I know I see
like doing stuff with her.
Yeah.
Or like there's Hannah.
Yeah.
Do you know her?
Yep. Not personally, but I've seen her stuff. Yeah.
She's cool. I think you two would get along really well, actually. You should message her. You should say, Stan told me to message you.
I started making this list of like people I need to meet in Auckland.
Yeah.
So I need to start working my way through that list.
Yeah. If any of you have been on the show, you should let me know. I'll give you the details. Hannah would, you two would get along real well. I think. She's very business minded like you are.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, honestly, it's incredible all the stuff she's done. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much stuff.
But what I like about yours is that you've done a lot of you've done actually one thing at a time.
True.
She's doing 9 things at a time. Yeah. And I even said that to her, like, you need to focus on one.
Yeah.
And she started to. She's got some stuff. I'm not gonna. Yeah. She's actually very talented and very good. And she's doubled in followers since I met her.
Damn.
She's at like 160K now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm rambling.
Yeah, we should probably
Yeah. See you later. Bye. Thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it. Really, cool. Really good.
Long time coming.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we got to it.
Yeah, actually, we were trying to do some months ago.
Yeah. Awesome.
Glad to be here.
Thank you.
No, thank you too.